guys, it's Chloe. Today I'm filming another advice video. I love doing these and I really want to start doing them more. They're one of my favorite videos to film. So basically I just ask you guys on my Instagram story to send me anything you need advice on it, and then I pick a few and I talk about them in this video. I really hope I can help some of you guys with my advice. I'm gonna start doing a lot more of these too, so if you want to be in the next one, just follow me on my Instagram because that's where you can ask the questions and like know when I'm gonna do it. So my Instagram is ClearlyChloe, same as my YouTube, so check that out if you want to be in the next one. I really hope this video helps if you're like the person who asked me the question specifically, or if you're someone who like is struggling with a similar thing. I hope this helps you. And I also just want to say before I start answering these questions, I'm not a professional or anything. I'm just like a regular high school student giving my take on these issues. And I'm not saying that my advice is like the right way or what you should follow. It's simply from like my perspective and what I would do in these situations or like conflicts if I were you. I'm not trying to tell you that my way is the right way or how you should do it. Just like know that going into this. The first one is how to not care what people think of you. Not caring what people think of you is literally one of the hardest things to do when you're in high school or if you're a teenager. I think it's so hard. I think it's really all psychological and in your head when we get scared of people judging us or like we let people's judgments affect us. I think you just have to realize you'll be so much happier if you wear what you want to wear, do what you want to do, like what you want to like, without other people's judgments getting in the way of that. You'll be so much happier like living your truth and being true to yourself. I also think like if you just look at it from the bigger picture, you'll just realize how stupid it is to spend your time caring what people think about you when you could be just having fun and living your life. Because if you look at the grand scheme of things, what one person thinks of you or what people at your school think of you are like a really minuscule like component of your entire life. So I don't think it's worth dwelling on, and I think you just have to live for yourself and be happy for yourself. I know it's so much easier said than done, but I just think you really have to look at the bigger picture and realize that there's so much more to life than worrying constantly about what everyone else thinks. Just realize how much happier you'll be once you just start accepting yourself and not looking around for the approval of others. Studying and planning your time. I think it's important that you like create a designated studying time. I'm really guilty of this. I'll like say I'm gonna study, but then I'll just sit there like on my phone or watching TV, and it will like take me like 10 times longer to actually start studying or to like actually study. So I think it's important you find like a space that you can actually study. For me, that usually means going to my library and just like sitting in this like quiet room and studying for however long without the distractions, because like the distractions is what really prevents you from like actually studying, and it keeps you procrastinating for so much longer. And for like planning your time, when I have a lot of things to do, which is a lot of the time, I use my like notes document on my computer and my phone, which is literally my favorite thing. It's literally like my life planner. I just like make a list of everything I have to do in order, and I just start checking it off. I usually do the easier stuff first, so I like feel good about checking it off, like a math worksheet or something, and then I'll work my way up to studying and stuff. So that always just makes me feel a lot better. And then by the time I get to like the bigger stuff, like a project or studying or like an essay, I won't have the worries of like the smaller work and stuff. So that's just how I go about it. I know some people like to get the harder stuff over with first, but I think it's much easier to just have the harder stuff to worry about and then all the easier stuff already done. How to not be awkward. I think you just have to stay out of your head and just like be who you are no matter who you're with, because I think honestly like pretending to be someone or just like planning out what you're gonna say or like holding yourself back is gonna make you like really like tense and like make you like seem like awkward, I guess. But also just like don't label yourself, just let yourself have fun and don't worry too much like what you sound like or like how you're acting. It's all in your head. Like when you like make yourself uncomfortable, that's all coming from inside of your head. Be in the moment instead of like worrying about what you're saying or what you're doing, and that way you'll like honestly just have such like a better time. And I really don't think it's worth it like worrying about what you're gonna say or like what people are gonna think about you when you say that, or if people think you're awkward or not. Just be who you are, and like if you think you're awkward, so be it. Stay in the present, like don't get in your head too much, and then I think you'll be fine. Just like project who you really are out. This question I think kind of like ties into the last one. How to be confident with making friends. I think you just have to stay out of your head. Just be who you are. Don't worry about what people are going to think or say about you, because that's their own problem. Whoever's meant to be in your life will be in your life, and they'll recognize who you are and like you for who you are. So really don't stress out too much about it. Just like be who you are. Like you just can't hold yourself back because you're scared of what people are going to say, or you're scared of like judgment or like putting on a persona to like be with people. Like, you just have to like let yourself be, and you'll eventually make friends that are really amazing for you, because if you really are fully yourself, they're gonna see that and you're gonna make such amazing friends that way. Clear skin. I really can't help you with that because I don't do anything for my skin and it is a literal mess. Honestly, I don't even have a good face wash, so I'm really just not qualified. I would just look that up somewhere else. What do you do to a fake friend you see every day and have no chance to get rid of? I think just being nice and friendly to them and not talking bad about them is enough. You don't have to like hang out with them all the time if you don't mesh with them, but you can just slowly start distancing yourself from them if they're a bad friend to you. And if they ask why, just tell them why they've been a bad friend to you, because if you say they've been a fake friend, like, I think it's really important to let your feelings out too, because they might get confused as to like why you're not talking to them anymore or something. So just keep being friendly and nice, and I would maybe even talk to them at some point, because if you're not happy with your friendship, I think it's worse to hold it in than to bring it to their attention. And also just like keep your distance too. If you say like they're fake or like they tell people stuff you say, just be careful about what you say around them. In case they go tell people, but just keep being nice and friendly to them, and I think it's all gonna work out. Drama at school, how to handle it. I think there's really no need to get involved in drama. There's so much like more you could be doing and focusing on. I think if you're involved in a lot of drama throughout like high school or like school, and then you look back, you're gonna regret that so much, and you're gonna wish you just like had fun and like lived your life while you could, because drama is so unnecessary and so like stressful to deal with. I think the best way to like keep yourself out of drama is to talk to people one-on-one if you're having problems with them. Don't go like with the he said, she said thing. Don't go telling people things that they shouldn't be knowing. If you're unhappy with someone, don't talk shit about them to a bunch of other people. Say it to their face why you're upset with them. Like, just try to like be very like mature about it, and you're not gonna get involved in that much drama. I'm almost 16 and still haven't had a boyfriend or even my first kiss. I just feel so insecure. I think you just can't let like boys define you and like how you feel about yourself. Like, as a teenager, it's so easy to just like base like your self-worth and like value yourself based on like guys and like how many guys you've gotten with and like if you're dating anyone or not, but you really can't do that. It's so bad and it's so toxic, because your like self-worth is constantly going to be going like up and down. It really doesn't mean anything, but like I just wouldn't let it get you down though, because it's not worth thinking about. It's not worth valuing yourself based off of that. And I know it's so much easier said than done, but at the end of the day, it really is true. And don't get stressed or anxious about it either, because it's gonna happen. Everyone like goes at their own pace, so don't be comparing yourself to everyone else. And believe me, you are beautiful. You do not need a guy to tell you that or just like show you that, because you are on your own. Don't worry about it though, and don't value yourself based on that. Please do not. How to learn from failure. I think for me personally, whenever I like fail at something or feel like I failed at something, it's so easy for me to like just like spiral down and like start thinking like, oh, I'm a failure at this, I'm a failure at that, I can't do this, I can't do that. Even if I just like fail one test, it starts like bleeding into every other aspect of my life, and I just feel like complete shit. Obviously it sucks if you feel you failed at something, but also just like take it lightly. You can't let it consume you, because that's gonna get really unhealthy. You just have to turn it into like, oh, whatever, I'll do better next time. But like, don't like not care about it, but also don't care too much about it, if that makes sense. There's a happy medium. Just like letting go and moving on, not dwelling on it, is gonna be your best friend. But learning from it is going to help you too. But also just not taking it to heart is going to be so helpful. Test score or whatever you feel like you're a failure on is really not a reflection on who you are. You are so much more than what you feel you failed at. So don't let it define you. How can I gain confidence in any school subject that I am doing? I think just realizing that not everyone is going to be like a genius at everything, and like everyone has their like special talents is gonna help you. And I think that will help you like not to feel discouraged by stuff, and you really shouldn't be just feeling discouraged by like school or school subjects. You should like use it as like an opportunity to learn and grow. Like, I know it's so hard in like the school system, because they're constantly throwing like tests at you and trying to like make you like place and like evaluate like how good you are at it, but it's really like about learning. So just like try to learn and like take it as an opportunity to learn and have fun with it while still working hard, and I think you'll get good results from that. Don't be discouraged if there's a class you're not so good at, because everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Like, it'd be like impossible to be like a master at everything. So like let yourself have these strengths and weaknesses, but just try your hardest and don't take it so seriously. I spend so much of my time these days missing the old times. Like, reflecting on the old times and like bringing those aspects into your life is healthy only to a certain degree, because if you're spending like so much time like thinking about it, then it's really taking you out of the present and everything amazing that you could be doing in the present right now. I think it's best to just live in the moment, but also try to like think about what is it that you miss about the old times, because that's going to help you change the present times to be amazing. I think one of the hardest things for us to do as humans is live in the moment, because we're so caught up in like the past and the future and worrying and all that kind of stuff. And it makes it so hard sometimes to just like let ourselves be in the moment and what we're doing right this second. I think keeping a journal would help you. So maybe like make one page about like the old times and like thinking about memories and like being like nostalgic, like reflecting on it, and make the other side of the page like the present and what you're doing in the present, and maybe some like stuff you could use from the past to help you with the present, if that makes sense. My parents don't understand that I'm depressed. I think if you're depressed, you should not be suffering alone, and I think you need to find someone who can help you to talk to. This doesn't have to be your parents at first. Maybe it's like your friend's parents, or a teacher, or like a therapist, or someone like a school counselor. And I think if you tell them what's going on, they're going to take it seriously, and then they can explain to your parents. And if your parents aren't taking you seriously right now, maybe if another adult tells them, then they will take it more seriously. I think a school counselor would be really good for this, because I think your parents would take them really seriously. I'm really sorry your parents aren't taking you seriously though. That's really awful, and you shouldn't be suffering alone. So I really hope they can come to understand and come to help you. How to get out of an unproductive, unmotivated hole. I think it depends on how long you've been in this. Sometimes you can just let yourself be. When I get home from school, sometimes I'm just so exhausted, and I know I have like 5 hours of homework ahead of me, but I just have to lie down for like an hour and let myself rest, or I'm literally gonna like actually pass out. So sometimes you just have to let yourself be a little lazy and unmotivated. But if it's lasting like a while, like a few days or like a week or more than that, then it might be more serious. I think you have to get to the root of why you feel so unmotivated. Is it because like you're bored with your life and what you're doing? Is it because you have so much work you just like don't want to do it? I think if you're just like lying around all day and you're putting things off all the time, I think to pull yourself out of it, the best way is to literally just like dust yourself off, do some things you love that you used to do, and it will really make yourself feel better and change your entire mood. And then you can gradually start getting back into like the work that you need to do, or like the things you have to do. But first, to get yourself out of it, I think like taking a shower, like cleaning your room, going out with friends, like going for a drive, stuff like that will really help you and just like get you back on your feet and like feeling how you used to feel. How to balance all of those classes, manage to pass them, play sports, and have a social life. This is something I'm really struggling with this year. It's so hard to balance everything all the time. I think just like managing your time is the best way to do it. I just like have designated days of the week for different things, and it really helps me. Like during the whole school week, I just focus on school and everything about school. On Friday and Saturday, I try to hang out with my friends. It's getting a lot harder this year with all my work, but I think like a Saturday or Friday night like is a time you should be with your friends and have like at least like 4 hours where you put off work. And then on Sundays, I usually focus on my videos and finishing up my weekend homework. I think it's so hard to like balance all of it, but just having like designated time for everything. And when you're in that time where you're focusing on one thing, try not to focus on the other stuff. Like when you're doing your homework, don't be texting your friends or FaceTiming them. Just do your work, and then you can do that later as your reward. When you're out with your friends, don't focus on work. There's so many times when I'm out with my friends nowadays, and all I can think about is all the work I have to do when I get home. But it takes you out of the moment, and it makes it like not worth it. How to handle your crush liking your friend. I think this is something that everyone's dealt with at one point or another, and it really sucks because honestly, there's not really much you can do in this situation. I mean, some people would tell their friend that they really like this person and like not to go for them, but it really depends on like your relationship with your friend and like your personal beliefs. I probably wouldn't tell my friend that they shouldn't go for them because I don't really think it's my place, even if I like the person. But you can't let it ruin your friendship. I think that's an important thing. Don't get jealous of your friend, and don't let it get in the way of like your friendship. It's really hard, but I think you just have to like move on, realize that there's other guys, and I don't know. It's a hard feeling. How to deal with being left out by friends. I think it's really important to talk to your friends if this is like a constant pattern and you feel like they're always leaving you out of stuff. And I think one-on-one too, like if you have a group chat, don't text in the group chat. I think you should text everyone individually, or a few people individually who you feel like are really leaving you out, and just like tell them how you feel in a really like non-reactive way. Just be like, hey, I really want to hang out with you, and I feel like we haven't hung out as much lately. What's up? I honestly feel like you don't invite me anywhere and I'm really confused. Like, can we talk? I think just opening the conversation up to them, but definitely talk to them about it, because I think that's something you should be able to work through with them. Alright guys, that is everything for today's advice video. I better get editing this because I need to get it up today, and my thoughts are such a jumble in this video. Like, I didn't plan what I was going to say at all. So I really have to edit this. But I hope you could take at least one thing from this video. I really tried to help. Also, no, you don't have to listen to my advice. Just a stupid girl. So yeah, that's all for today's video, and I'll see you guys in my next video next Sunday. Bye!